Welcome back to Radio Taiwan International. You're listening to Geek Out. What's your cup of tea, tickles your fancy, or floats your boat? Join us as we share passions from people in Taiwan and around the world. I'm your host, Michelle Chang, and today in the studio we have back one of my besties.
Hello.
Kim Gordon.
Teehee.
So what are we geeking out about today?
Taiwan.
Yeah, right? On the day that this episode airs is the day that you take off.
Oh.
So coincidental.
I did not know that. No.
I've been here for basically your entire Taiwan career. It's not a career.
Kind of.
I mean, it is,
Stay.
but your stay, right?
Residency.
Your residency. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because before you had come to Taiwan, did you have much to do with it?
With Taiwan itself, just studying Chinese at university.
Right.
Listening to Taiwanese music and watching a few dramas.
Right. But did you know anyone?
Yeah. I had a friend that was in my Chinese classes. He took Chinese for the same reason I took Spanish.
Oh, cool.
Easy for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you actually move into Chinese because you knew this friend?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to take it. I wanted to take Chinese and Japanese. So.
Very cool. I mean, generally, Chinese is becoming more popular as a language option.
I did it before it was cool.
But I was just going to say, you did it before it was cool. So what made you want to move to Taiwan? It's a big step.
Yeah, well, there's a controversial answer and there's a radio-friendly answer. So, like,
how controversial can we get with still remaining within certain radio rules?
Well, I thought it was a better choice than China, personally.
That's true.
Mostly because of the pollution and my asthma, but also I was into the dramas and the music, and that got me into the culture overall. And so I wanted to experience it for myself.
Yeah. To put that into context, China's big cities have pretty bad air pollution. So bad that there was this whole thing way back when of people selling canned Canadian air or
I heard
something
about
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
And it was selling out. It was actually making money as a business because people wanted to breathe.
Yeah.
Which is,
Crazy.
terrifying.
Yeah. What's that like?
So you chose Taiwan. And when was this?
Deciding to move here.
Yeah. What year was that? I don't remember.
Oh my God. I moved here in 2012.
Oh, it's been a while.
And I decided to do that maybe like 5 years or so before that.
Oh, so you were like actually ramping up to
Yeah, it was
it.
a goal.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
excellent.
a pretty long-term goal.
And you were residing in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas, yes.
That is a huge step. A lot of people, never wind up leaving the country even on vacation, never mind moving across an ocean. So when you decided to do it and you prepared for it, 5 years later, you booked your ticket, you got ready, packed your bags. How was it? What was that like? That whole like stepping onto a plane.
That's a good question. It was so long. I'm so old.
I'm older than you.
Yeah, not by much. Okay. The gap is not big.
I'm sure your parents were kind of upset.
That was emotional for them. For me, and it's not that it wasn't emotional for me. It was a different sort of emotion because I was trying to, like many people, like Michelle said this before, that there's a lot of reasons people leave their country to go somewhere else, and I fall into two camps. One, I was running away from something, nothing illegal. And
for the record.
Yeah, for the record, I'm a good girl. Lawfully good druid at your service. And the other reason was wanting to travel and see the world.
Yeah.
So
Taiwan is a fantastic kind of stepping stone to other countries in Asia.
Yeah, and like I had the fortune of having been to Japan in university to study abroad for a few months. So I wasn't like a fish out of water with traveling
So you
abroad.
had a taste, especially of Asia. So you knew at least a little bit of what to expect. Yeah. I bet your parents were so sad, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they still are.
Well, not so much anymore. You're going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said with enthusiasm.
So you landed in Taiwan. And from there, you had already secured a position at HES, correct?
Yep, as a native speaking teacher.
Yes.
NST.
An NST. To hand it to them, HES actually does have a good intake department where they will onboard teachers with very little that the teacher actually has to do.
Yes.
Like their HR department does process all the paperwork
Yes.
and apply for work, your ARC and your work permit, and blah, blah, blah. And they do put you through a training program. And I'm assuming that's what you did right when you got off the plane.
Yeah, pretty much. I came a few days earlier than training, so I could try to like combat the jet lag a little bit, and also like do a little bit of sightseeing around Taipei because you don't know where you're going to get placed when you first joined with us. I don't know if they do now. I don't know if that's changed. But I also had to come in on a tourist visa at the time. And then following year, they changed it where you could have just landing visas like in Japan.
Oh.
And
wow.
I was like, are you serious? So I had to like have a deposit in my bank account and everything. It was so frustrating.
That's annoying. Okay. So you landed. You found out you were going to be placed in Taipei.
Yep.
Yay. And what was that first year like? Because that, I think, the first few months to a year are really impactful for people who have not long-term lived in another country before, never mind one that doesn't speak English, though you did actually have some basic
I
Chinese.
had 3 years of Chinese before I came. I thought it was fine. I never really had culture shock or anything like that. I don't know if that's because I come from a mixed household myself, not of Asian variety, but like Latina variety, right? So like
we constantly crack jokes.
We do, and our cultures are quite similar.
Yes. Like our parents will behave very, very similar
Very
ways.
similarly, yeah. And like a lot of things overlap. So, and like I said, I'd been to Japan too, so there is a little bit overlap there in some cultural things, and especially because there was so much Japanese influence here, for better or worse, historically. And so I didn't really find it that challenging as a lot of my like peers did when they came.
I do also think that you were really open-minded when it comes to meeting new people and trying new foods and other things, whereas a lot of people are not.
Yeah, they're really scared or rigid. And they like that was me in Japan a little bit when I first went. I thought I was open. I thought I was open-minded when I went there. And then, like, I ordered a seafood dish and an octopus tentacle curled up out of the cheese. And I was like, I guess I'm not that open-minded. So I kind of sat there staring at it like, and in Japan, it's quite rude if you don't finish everything on your plate. And I was like, I don't know if I can stomach this octopus tentacle. I did my best. And then
did you finish what's on your plate?
I did not. I did the best I could, and I apologized profusely because it's me. And then I remember going back to my dorm and thinking that was unacceptable, and I wanted to try to be more open-minded.
Oh.
And I did. Like, I'd never had sushi before I went to Japan, and that's a great place to try it. So
well, Lubbock, Texas is landlocked.
Yeah.
So that's not the great place to have sushi.
No, but we do have several sushi restaurants. Yeah. Shockingly, I know.
But that's interesting how you actually had that thought. Like you remember having the thought that, oh, I need to be more open-minded.
Yeah, because I mean, when in Rome, for one, and for two, I was disappointed in myself for thinking I was so open-minded, and then I struggled like that. And then like I remember there was a girl in my class that she got salt poisoning at one point because all she ate was McDonald's all day, every day, which...
Don't do that.
That was funny.
I think we've all at least heard of Super Size Me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but she was like pencil thin, which I'm not shaming her for being thin, but like it was like, girl.
Maybe he just went right through her.
Yeah. But she had to go to the hospital because she got full on poisoning from it. And I was like, are you serious right now? And she refused to eat Japanese food because her daddy sent her there. And daddy just didn't give me any choice. I wanted to go to Europe or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you're here. Try to make the most of your time here.
Right. And
find something.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with experiencing other cultures and trying to open yourself up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to agree with everything that you come by, but at least, give it a shot.
Exactly.
Try everything once.
Yep.
All right. So you've lived in Taiwan for how long now?
12 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. I think my 12th anniversary just passed. Whoops.
I mean, if you were summer intake, then
yeah, it was July. Yeah,
absolutely. So 12 years is
right, it's August.
It
my
is
God,
August.
Wow, I'm doing real well. It's definitely passed. I did nothing for my anniversary.
Well, I think we're all, not just you, but a lot of people who love you are very stressed out about you leaving.
Yeah.
So over the course of 12 years. Have you been particularly, stressed out or impressed by elements of Taiwan living?
I think Taiwan's changed quite a lot since I moved here. There's more foreigners everywhere. And I realized that there were a lot of foreigners in the first place, but now they're in places where I don't expect them to be.
What do you mean?
Like if I go to like Elon or like a smaller town, there's foreigners there and they're not just tourists. And it's really disarming. And hearing English more often is also very disarming because I default to Chinese more often than not, and if a worker here speaks to me in English, I don't register that they are,
It's funny how that happens with people. It's like they
Yeah.
expect the language and the brain like switches.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm in a mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 5 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, wait, you're speaking English to me? I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not doing this on purpose, you know?
Well, I mean, the government does have a plan to be fully bilingual by 2030. Whether or not we'll actually achieve that is another thing entirely. But there has been like a rising trend in people who do speak English.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's quite a difference. Even in the convenience stores, or so people tell me, like, because sometimes if I'm wearing like a face mask or depending on the day, like people just assume I'm mixed and they speak to me in Chinese too. So
Actually, yeah, you could pass as mixed.
I'm ethnically ambiguous. I am mixed, but
Well,
you mean
that's
like
true. I mean Taiwanese mixed.
Yeah.
But I think you would be honorarily Taiwanese mixed.
well, thank you, thank you.
So Taiwan living is very different from the U.S.
Yeah, but I feel like
In
it's
many
been
ways.
super easy.
Generally, it's easier, especially since we reside in the capital city of
Yeah.
Taipei, where conveniences abound.
Yeah.
Every like transportation, there is a metro system here that is actually really easy to navigate, and it goes everywhere in the city. And wherever the MRT does not go, the bus system does.
And I got really good at the bus system first.
It's intimidating, but I prefer it because
I
you
do
kind of
too.
like when you're sitting there looking out the window, you pass by landmarks that maybe you make a mental note of you want to go to later. It's like, oh, I didn't know there was this here.
Yeah.
That looks cool. Let's visit this, restaurant or something that looks neat. And that's kind of one way to explore a city.
Yeah, definitely. Beats the MRT.
Yeah. Being underground and being in your phone.
Oh my god. These new generations. My god, my god.
This is a very much metropolitan city where there's so many options when it comes to food. and
Especially now.
activities. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not that it wasn't diverse now, but it's really diverse
It's
now.
really diverse now. I don't think, and even your McDonald's eating friend would have too much trouble now.
She probably would. She was the worst. I would not call her my friend.
I use the term pretty loosely,
Yeah. My classmate at best.
especially when it comes to healthcare.
You're preaching to the choir now.
Okay, Kim is part of my circle of friends. Every once in a while, every couple of years, we book a medical checkup party.
Yep.
And by party, I mean we go as a group to a place to get a full physical because it's more fun when you have friends with you. And you can do that here. You can make an appointment for like 6 people to show up and they run you through everything. You can choose different packages and of things that you want to have checked out. And then it's very, very efficient. They get you all done by, you start in the morning and you're out by lunch.
Yep. And you even get a voucher for lunch.
Although the voucher is the Burger King.
Yeah, and I don't eat Burger King.
That's so weird. It's unhealthy.
I know. You would think it would be like a biendang place or something,
Right.
a lunchbox place.
Yeah, someplace a little healthier. Anyway, I know that you've been taking advantage of getting a few checkups before you leave.
Yeah, for sure. Because America is a nightmare for healthcare.
Yeah, it's just less accessible, less affordable, and it's just. I mean, here you could get if you see a doctor you don't like, you can rebook for even later that day.
Yep. And you don't have to worry about the insurance issues and stuff like that.
Even without insurance, seeing a doctor is not terribly
it's
expensive.
Not expensive.
It's how much would you say with insurance? 挂号费 is like 100 NT, which is a little over $3, and then any medications or procedures that
will be added on.
will be added
which
on,
is not by much.
which is not much.
Yeah, because I just got 3 months of medication from my psychiatrist to go home, and that was like 450 NT.
What is that? $15.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. I'm using the 300 exchange. It's amazing to live in a country that is just so convenient.
Yep. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to not being anymore.
I'm
was
sorry.
sarcasm. That was sarcasm.
Oh, but I like to look at this as you're just going back for an extended stay, and you'll be returning to Taiwan soon enough.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Anything that you would love to tell people that you loved about this place?
The people.
Oh,
Yeah. I've always found the Taiwanese people to be really lovely, very friendly, accommodating. There's very, very little xenophobia here.
in comparison with
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I've been to multiple like South Korea or Japan. Not saying negatively, speaking negatively about the people, but there sometimes are more cases of xenophobia where they are afraid
Yeah,
to talk to you.
or just the staring. The staring gets, especially if you're introverted and don't like to be perceived.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. The Taiwanese people are nice in a way that is very genuine. Whereas, you know, if you go to certain places, they'll be nice to you, to your face.
Yeah.
But they're not genuinely helpful and really, you know, want to get to know you. So, but they're here.
Yeah. I've made so many friends with random shopkeepers and stuff, and they always remember me.
They remember your face and know your name. Anything else that you are going to really miss?
Food. So much food. Even with my restricted diet. And that's another thing that's been nice is it's really easy to have a restricted diet in Taiwan for the most part.
A lot of people would expect not, but it is.
I think I made it popular to be gluten-free here. I'm pretty sure.
Not only are you eating gluten-free, but you're also lactose intolerant.
Lactose intolerant, and I have really bad acid reflux and so many other things that I have to be careful of.
So how are you finding food?
It's pretty easy. But like I can read quite a bit of Chinese and I can speak it, so I can ask what's in stuff. And that helps me a lot because I can navigate the menu. I can ask them to take certain things off. And they're so accommodating here. If I could go into like a mom and pop breakfast shop and I'm like, can I get that hamburger without the bread? And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And they'll just do it. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, people here, as we said, are really nice.
Yeah.
So they're usually very willing to accommodate these kinds of things. And if you did want to cook at home, can you obtain ingredients easily?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Especially at the import stores. But you don't even have to go to the import stores to really get a lot of gluten-free stuff. You just have to know what to look for.
Right. I do think the expat community here in Taiwan is pretty awesome. It's a smaller community.
Yeah.
If you compare it to, you know, Bangkok or something like that. But what that enables is kind of a community feeling.
And a sound network.
It's a very sound network. We all kind of know each other. And if you don't, we're separated by no more than 1 degree.
Yeah.
So it's people are just nice to each other in general, not just, you know, not locals, but also expats. And it's just we introverts have formed a really tight-knit group. And I think that will be the hardest to experience when you are not here.
Yeah. Yeah. Losing your anchor group is not ideal.
Yeah.
Or at least within immediate reach.
Yeah. The good news is that it is 2024 and we have a full-blown internet and so much tech that we can use in its stead, in the stead of physical presence.
And we're all night owls, so our times overlap eventually.
Oh, yeah. Weirdly. I am very, very night owl-y, so you'll see me plenty. Anything that you'd like to say to listeners who might be contemplating moving to another country?
Ooh, do your research. Don't assume anything. There's usually, if you Google it, there's going to be like top 10 laws to be aware of as like an expat moving somewhere. Look into the food situation if you have not a bad diet, a restricted diet. Yeah. Just try to learn a little bit of the language. If they don't speak English as the primary language, it goes a long way.
It does.
Not everybody has the aptitude for it, but if you can get a handful of phrases in there, it makes a difference.
Absolutely. And it shows the people that you're trying to communicate with that you're trying.
And you care.
You care.
Yeah, you care about the country. Yeah.
I would also say pop online, Facebook. I know it's kind of outdated, but the one thing that they do have that many other social media apps don't is they have communities. So you can join the groups that are on Facebook for the place where you're moving to, and kind of you can ask a bunch of questions in there. You can make friends first so that you have a network that you're moving into.
Touchstones.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming to Geek Out with me. I promise, I swear, I will figure out the phone situation so we can do phone interviews.
Oh.
Amanda has to teach me. Amanda, please check out Tales of Our Time. But that way we can talk more. And thanks, listeners, for tuning into Radio Taiwan International. I'm so sorry for this very sad episode. I'm Michelle Chang, and we'll be back next Thursday with another episode of Geek Out. Bye.
Bye-bye. 再见.
再见. Oh, that was so cute to end.